Well, hey everybody. It's it's Tuesday. It's July. Hope y'all had a great 4th. Oh my gosh. It is the 5th of July. I did look at the dates kind of out of the corner of my eye. I tried to play it off like I wasn't, but I always do because I just can't help myself. Oh, it's been an interesting week. We got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to bring Jeff in because I need the man to carry me here. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, first things first is that stupid EIA crash, whatever,
Oh,
still affecting us, guys. No fuel surcharge update. We're still going to be at 75.9 cents because
right.
there's no report this week.
We should definitely touch on that, Jeff, because what like you said, what a lot of us are seeing is a lot of these prices are dropping right now, and we feel
Right.
like
We're
when
going to
this
swift some money.
when this does hit, guys, be ready for that reduction in the overall fuel surcharge that's paid out come that week because we're gonna owe them money. I don't see it being drastic amounts. I mean, because
No.
we're talking,
It might be a penny or two.
you know what I mean. So keep that in mind. It's not something we're gonna get mad about because honestly, it's not something we should be mad about. Let's be real.
Right.
So
Because, like we always said, this is contractual. What's your
right.
contract say? And since Swift doesn't have the data to update the fuel surcharge, if it did go down one of these weeks by contract, we're going to owe them some money.
Can you imagine if they had like adhered to the contract? I mean, absolute, and just not paid fuel surcharge because there was no data.
Right.
Oh my god.
That would have hurt me.
Oh, that would have been painful. Like for real.
And I might have taken to Facebook and even complained about it. And then Charley
Right.
would have come in and said, "Hey, dude, did you read your contract?" And I'd be like,
Right.
"Yes."
Oh, look at it. She's like, you jackasses, that's so what would have happened. Oh my god. Trucker Dan, what's up, buddy? Kenneth, I see you. Timothy Rant. Oh, look, I didn't even let it sit up there. Look, Timothy, Kenneth, all you guys. Oh my gosh, I can't even control buttons today. Blackbeard. Look, I'm gonna quit clicking on buttons and let Rosie click some buttons just because it's fun. Because she's supposed to be clicking buttons for chat and stuff like that and letting people know. Don't. I don't want to hear it. You're producer, lady. You better start producing.
All right.
I'm gonna sit back here and be like, "What's up, people?" Because I can't see you guys over there because that's not my job anymore. Hey, if you guys want to call in, the phones are open. Rosie's there and available. 813-548-3722. Call in now, y'all. 813 live SCC.
Yeah.
I just like saying it that way for some reason. Live SCC. Oh
Yeah.
I just tasted my microphone. That was weird.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I don't think we should talk about that. But yeah, let's go back to this fuel surcharge thing. I'm gonna throw Rosie out of here because it's fun to do every now and then. Trucker Dan. Rosie's over there trying to figure out how to use the chat. Look at that. Someone swapped us. I like it. She's clicking on
spec
stuff
on my screen, and I have a touch screen, so
nice.
Sorry about that.
I dig it. You're like, watch this. I dig it.
I didn't even know that was going to happen. So
that's great.
I learned something.
I love it. Yeah. So what are you guys doing? How's the week been? I don't really want to dip into my topic yet because I'm going to get beat up for this one, but it'll be fun. And we're going to have a good conversation about it, I think, because I think there's some stuff. Dennis Lewis, what's up, buddy? He said, good evening, Charlie, Jeff, Rosie, the boss.
So one of the things that I saw a lot on Facebook, not just with the contractors, Charlie, but Swift overall.
Right.
Charlie, I always take vacation this time of year. So I've actually been off for 2 weeks. And there's kind of a reason for that. Number one, I love the 4th of July. It's like one of my big holidays. But also, freight sucks this weekend.
Right.
Freight just sucks, man. And because, it's the national holiday. We have a lot of banking holidays and government holidays. People don't work on the 4th, and the people don't work on Christmas Eve and Christmas.
Right.
So, you know, I've been watching all these comments, so I'm like, why are you guys even out working on a week?
Right.
And as business owners, that's something to consider. Is it worth being away from your family? Is it worth idling that truck down in Phoenix at 108 degrees?
Right.
When
Well, hell,
there's
James did well.
Yeah, James always does well. He's like, we're gonna start calling James Mr. Swift because I don't think he's even like
right. That guy's slaying it. What's up, Greg?
But yeah, I mean, sure, some people do well, but by and large, because I tend to look at things in by and large, Charlie.
Right.
Of all the times to take vacation, this is the week because there's a potential for getting really frustrated.
Right. And we've definitely seen it in some of the posts in the Facebook group and the general Swift drivers group, even so the corporate one.
Yeah. So I just made the decision like 14 years ago. I'd take vacation the week that the 4th is.
Nice. It works out well because you got a stack of birthdays to celebrate.
Yeah.
On top of America.
My wedding anniversary is the 25th of June. I have one son's birthday on the 22nd and another son's birthday on the 26th. And as a matter of fact, we just had a birthday for my 3 boys because they all have summer birthdays and dad works so much that they think that they don't matter,
right.
Sometimes. So when we were singing happy birthday, Charlie, we said happy birthday to Michael, Joseph, Peter, and America.
Yes.
Because we had the party yesterday.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
So we got to kick out of that.
America.
Yep.
What's up, Alan? Good to see you, buddy.
So yeah, just in times that unless you're one of those guys that get stacked through the whole weekend, because if you could do that,
right,
that's great. But by and large, on the big holidays, this one, Christmas, are the 2 big ones where there's just nothing going on.
Right.
Maybe you take your home time for a couple of days that weekend and not spend the money being out on the road.
Yeah, and like Dennis, Timothy Ransom said, he's been sitting since Sunday, and that just sucks.
That hurts.
If you didn't want to be sitting, that is not a good thing, man. And that's kind of one of those things that he's talking about. Holidays like this, it's tough if you're not stacked through it, man.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of comes down to communication, talking to those guys ahead of time, and seeing if we can get stuff squared away.
And of course, Alan.
Right.
Dude, we should have pulled pictures of his shindig, man, and put them up.
Yeah, Alan, we need video, bro.
Alan got an alligator to cook for his party that he had.
And like a full-blown commercial display of fireworks and stuff. And oh my gosh, I want to see video.
I don't mind sharing with everybody. I told my wife, we need to get rich so that we can go to my rich friend Alan's house for the 4th of July next year.
Right. Fly in, right.
So.
Oh my gosh, Alan. Gosh. I'm a little jealous. I'm sad I didn't get to make it, buddy. I apologize. 52-minute display he had.
Holy smokes.
Oh, and Timothy said that his stack fell through. One of the shippers was closed on the 4th. See, and that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
You just, oh God. Hey, we got a call. Let's take this call real quick. I actually want to do this.
Who do we got?
James Vaughn.
All right.
So
the new Mr. Swift. All right.
Yes. Wait. Let's do this. I'm going to switch him over.
Don't hang up on him.
Let's see how. I know, right? Hang up on him. James, you there, buddy?
Tim Forod here. Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good,
all
man.
Right,
how
man.
are you doing out there slaying the miles?
Hey, I'm running this Walmart search stuff out of Las Lunas right now.
Nice.
Okay.
See, you're working the smart side.
Yes, I am. By the way, Jeff, thank you for introducing me to that Fuel Book app. That when I was doing a lot of the OTR stuff, I sat down and I figured out by following that app alone, I saved almost $300 in my first week by following that.
Nice.
Yeah, Charlie and I, when we first started doing that, before we started the discount card thing, dude, that the first week we used it, we saved so much money. It was another one of those, dude, we're idiots. This thing's been around a while.
Yeah. Look. This will make Matt feel good because Matt was like, "Why aren't you guys using?" We're like, "Meh," and then we use it. And we're like, "This is great."
Yeah.
And then
like I said, wow, that fuel book that saved me a ton of money doing OTR runs. It's true. I can't argue with it.
Yeah, man. And look, when you switch over to ES Advantage card, I'm telling you, like last week, unfortunately, I didn't have any money on the ES card because of the way things have been going lately for me. However, I kept checking the prices on the ES Advantage card, and it hurt my feelings because I ended up getting. I mean, I got a decent price for fuel. Like I was hitting the QTs, so I paid like $5.09, right? The big five stops were like $5.59, $5.69, $5.79. You know, on my two routes for the week. And but then when I looked at the ES Advantage card prices, it hurt my feelings because I thought it was a good price at $5.09, and then I saw the ES price was $4.39, and I was like, oh, deflated.
Oh no! Yeah. Don't even get me started with that. I've been getting my fuel here at the Las Lunas Walmart DC,
right?
And with that, I get like right now I'm getting like $4.65 a gallon.
Right.
But I had to do a love in Texas at $5.39 a gallon, and I just
that's when you put just enough on to get back to the DC.
Right.
Yeah, what's really cool about what's really cool about the fuel book app that I just got a kick out of, because I would call Charlie every time this happened. I'd be at some mom and pop somewhere with this great fuel price. I'd be the only Swift truck in there, and everybody else was an independent owner operator, like with their own trucks and trailers and all that stuff. That makes you feel good, because if it's all independents in there and you're the only Swift guy, you know you're getting a good deal.
Right.
Because these guys don't get fuel surcharge or nothing. They are shopping for the bottom price that they can find because they need to. I just got a kick out of that.
And then in those situations, I'd be like, hey, man, you guys ever heard of ES Advantage? You should check out this discount. They're like, dude, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I can't help it.
Speaking of ES Advantage, I put my application in when you were there in Phoenix when we were first talking. I've yet to ever hear from those guys.
Really?
That's an issue.
I haven't gotten an email. I haven't gotten an email or even nothing.
They should have made a phone call to you from Mississippi. You sure it didn't come in as potential spam? Like a phone block type thing?
Any calls. Nope, I haven't seen anything from Mississippi.
Tell you what,
I would really love to get that.
I will.
We can reach out to Jeff Reese and see if we can't get him to contact you.
Yeah, and there is an email address, and I'm scrolling through my list, and I know you can't see the video right now, but come back to the video about 13 and a half minutes into the video, and I put the email address up for you. Send them an email, because I promise you they will reach out to you when they see that email, because that one's going to kind of get a rise out of Jeff Reese.
Yep.
Yeah, because I know as soon as I get that good old card from those guys and I get the money put on that thing, and look, Fuel Buck Plus, there's into there. Freaking the savings are just, I'm going to be starting to make money hand over fist with my
absolutely.
Fuel surcharge and all that fun stuff. Speaking of which, what is going on with that fuel surcharge?
It's the EIA, man. The EIA, the Energy Information something or other. I don't know what the A stands for because I'm not smart right now. But they had a huge apparent hardware issue 3 weeks ago that crashed their systems due to voltage regulations, something or other. And they are rebuilding databases, and don't get us started on that nonsense, because let's face it, this is a government entity and it's taken them more than 3 weeks to rebuild a database. Something is wrong. But anyhow, so it seems they've rebuilt almost all their databases except the diesel one. So they put out an email today and a notice today that once again, they will not be putting out the diesel prices, but they do intend to put out all 3 weeks worth soon. I don't know what that means.
Well,
it's the government, so who knows what that means.
So let's enjoy our 75, almost 76 mile loaded fuel surcharge while we got it.
Just remember, though, that with prices dropping the way that we seem to think that they are right now, that we're going to owe Swift money once they do figure that out, because we're going to have to pay back the extra that they've paid us. So, yeah. Alan said, be careful on surge accounts now coming from Sue. They are cracking down hard on getting owners out of them, as they are only 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, they're only supposed to be 2 weeks. She said, then got to go. Moberly kicked 6 owners off last week. So beware, you know what? You know a good way to work that, though? I'm just going to throw this out there. So, when they do enforce that 2-week limit, you go out, run a couple of loads, and then say, hey, Moberly, you need me back? I found that very helpful in the past on those types of things, because, I pretty much only strictly work surge accounts. I mean, that's been my MO for
3 years at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
So
I did it 3 years before I even got to Target.
So I'll put my plug in for the relationship building thing too. If Swift corporate is going to be telling the dedicated accounts to enforce the 2-week limit on owner ops, if you have a good relationship with these people, you could just ask them, hey, if I go OTR for a week and come back, what do you guys think?
Well,
right.
See, that's it. Right now, the dedicated accounts that I'm on right now, they're short like 10, 15 drivers straight across the board. I know that one for a fact. That, and I'm also fixing to be going home, next week? Well, actually, on the 8th, I'm going back home to the River Laredo anyway, so I'll be moving along anyhow.
Yeah, see, and like, who was it? It was Chris Williford. So Chris is doing exactly the thing that I would do back in the day. When he's on Temple right now, when they say bye to him, he's just going to OTR to Los Lunas.
Pretty much. I mean, because as of right now, I've been up here. Not the squash huddy, but I'm working on like almost going up here for 4 weeks helping out.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and as long as you're profitable for them, I mean, a lot of those guys will ignore that 2-week stuff, I mean, and it's not to crack on anybody, but some of us outperform others. And we don't question, we just do. We're just there to do what we wanted, what we said we would do. We're there to help out, do what they need us to do, and we go. And we typically really do profit from it when we get into that groove, and they'll keep us longer. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah. I ain't complaining about that. They're really good people. I mean, I'm not...
Yeah, the whole reason why Opelika kept me for so long, I actually worked there for 3 months straight. And when they had to just let me go, because they have that season when they have more loads than they have drivers, and every time they have to push a load back to Walmart, they get fined, right? But what the comment that they made to me is I was doing 1.5 loads for every one of their guys working. Because I was just going load to load to load and taking my 10s, and that was it. And that's, you create that kind of value. It's important to find out, as you build your relationship with these people. Like, I know that working the Opelika account itself, they were not making money per se on my truck at my OTR rate.
Right, but they weren't getting fined.
But they weren't getting fined for the loads I was taking, which meant that they were in the money. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let me take this question for PG Beats real quick. He said, can you explain the surge accounts? It's been 6 years and I'm onboarding. So surge accounts are big dedicated accounts, things like Walmart, Target, Kohl's. I mean, God, name a big one. We got one there, I'm sure. And what surge is they bring in outside drivers, not their normal contracted or dedicated people, to fill in and cover the extra freight that they have, for certain time periods. I mean, the 4th of July weekend, Memorial weekend, things like that. A lot of the grocery type DCs, Target, Walmart, typically need more people because it's a steep incline or steep increase rather in their freight base that they normally have. So they bring in outside people, and we get paid OTR rates to run dedicated freight. And it can really be a great way to make some extra money in the normal time. It takes a little getting used to, because you're like, well, God, it's only 400 miles, but yeah, it's 400 miles at a higher contract rate with
And 3 stops.
right?
And
3 stops and the other accessorial fees plus the fuel surcharge. And if it's Walmart, you get that super low fuel price, and that is where like something like Walmart DCs shine, because their contracted fuel prices are ridiculously low.
yeah, I mean, back when
You don't want to know what
so when I was
you
running
don't want to know what I
Opelika
paid for
last year,
fuel today.
yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Spill it.
$4.65 a gallon.
See, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that is what really is important. I mean, you add that in with that accessorial pay, the short mileage runs, and the stops and all that. And I'm telling you, it adds up quick and turns into just a profitable deal. So you run it till the wheels fall off, and you know what? Build those relationships at other accounts, and you're like, okay, I'm going from Moberly to Los Lunas to wherever, and to Temple. And you could sit there and build this weird little triangle of surge accounts. And that's what I've done for, God, 6-7 years.
Yeah. And so like when I was running Opelika, it was before the fuel prices started jumping. But so the cheapest price in their operating area that I could find was at a mom and pop Chevron, out in the middle of Georgia. And it was 30 cents more than the Walmart DC.
Right.
So,
yeah, and Chris Wilford just said $4.48 a gallon there at the Temple DC. So yeah, I mean, like I said, run it till the wheels fall off, y'all, because it's worth it.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, be in there talking to people. Hey, what do you need me to do today? Make sure you set good PTAs and run when they want you to run.
Get that exit right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it is what it is, and it can be a real boon to your business and your bottom line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely has been, and I mean, I'm not complaining one bit. And the other upside is working with Walmart. It's the only account that I know of, but this could have changed. But it's all loaded miles. There's no such thing as empty.
Right.
Yep. That's the other thing is 100% loaded, so you get surcharge on every single mile you're running. So it's
yeah.
I like I've told Charley though. So there is a dark side to doing dedicated. So Opelika, I know that if I went out there this time of year, they'd probably put me on.
Right.
But I've told Charley, I said, with my mental, what is going on with me right now, honestly, I'm not sure I want to deal with people that much.
Right.
Because you are doing, live unloads at Opelika, it's all frozen dairy pretty much. So you're doing live unloads of reefer stuff at stores. You're interacting with people
that sometimes are not pleasant or active.
You got to really have your customer service hat on at some of these places and just kind of take it. Just let it happen, right, Charley?
Exactly. Let it happen, yo. Let it happen.
And so, there is that aspect of it that people need to be aware of.
Embrace the suck for the extra buck. I just coined that one. Let's do it.
Oh man, you're insane. $5.99 in upstate New York. Holy crap!
I know. Before I go back home, I'm definitely going to be filling up my truck before I leave that DC.
Absolutely,
dude. I go further than that. If I'm delivering to a Walmart DC with a Swift terminal at it, I'll go over there and fill up. Yep. Even if I'm not on the dedicated account, I will go over there and buy their fuel because it's just calm data. They're not going to stop you.
Right.
So
exactly. Your call, Bob. Do what you think is right, but it looks like they're getting ready to reopen this or something.
I want to go back to a couple of questions here. Kenneth was asked which app, Fuelbook. Fuelbook is a good one to get some prices on and get some really pretty decent discounts. Just be aware that some of the really small stops scare the heck out of me. And, other guys have had great luck. I'm not willing to hit some of the really super small stops. I'd rather pay a couple cents more, go somewhere a little bit bigger, like a Circle K, a QT, something like that. But that's me, man. I mean, just make sure if you're hitting those tiny stops that you're carrying extra fuel filters in your truck and you know how to change them. Just my advice. Let's get rid of that one.
So, do you want to cut him loose, Charlie? And,
yeah, James, you got anything else, buddy? I don't mean to be like that, but yeah, man, we appreciate you calling in, brother.
I need to. Yeah, I need to let go. I need to. We're getting ready to hit some detours. I really should be paying attention to what my students up to.
All right, buddy.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
Thanks for the call. Get out there and make that money and keep doing what you're doing, brother. We thank you, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, talk to you guys later.
All
Bye.
right, be safe, buddy.
Yep.
And then there was some more here I wanted to look at. Back to PG Beats. Sorry, buddy. I wanted to bring that up. You asked is it still 6 weeks to run free on the lease? My understanding right now is it's no down payment and 4 weeks, no payments. And maybe this is
basically, so that makes it basically the same way. Same thing. So yeah, Charlie's been procrastinating the inevitable here for 26 minutes and 55 seconds.
I was doing pretty good, man. I thought we might be able to get through without me saying anything. I just thought
so because I told Charlie I was going to do this, I'm going to bring it up. So after a year or more of this show and us really banging the drum about truck ownership, Charlie has a confession to make.
Okay, so I have said for years, and I'm going to get real deep and kind of close here. For years, I have screamed at the top of my lungs, I will never get a new truck. You could give me one for free, and I will sell that bastard and buy 4 trucks like I got now. Well, the day has come for me to eat my words and take my lickings. I am getting a brand new truck. I've got some serious things going on with old Chewy, as we call her. She's a great truck. I love her. I absolutely love my old ugly Chewy. I have to say it. But there's a lot of things going on with her right now that are cost prohibitive because of a lot of things that have been going on with me in my personal side, and which is bled over into the business side. And I'm not prepared to make the repairs that I need to do to keep Chewy right. Because one, an out of frame in her right now is looking like 6 months to get it done. So that's 6 months with her broken down in little bits and pieces. And Lord knows I can't afford to be off 6 months. And I just don't want to rent a truck for 6 months. I just don't. Because if I rent a truck, then I'm running a truck with a camera in it. And I don't want their camera. I just don't care. I am that adamant against the camera. So that's one thing there. And yeah, well, I'm getting a brand new truck. It's being worked on today, tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to go snatch it up this week. But here's the thing. Let's talk about, what does this mean? Because you guys know that I work 3 or 4 days a week. How am I going to be able to do that with a brand new truck and a lease payment and all that sort of stuff? Well, here's the deal for me. I've run all the numbers. And basically the bottom line is that what the numbers tell me is I have to work an extra day each week. So if I was going to work 3 days, I now have to work 4. And I average out to what I'm doing the same. And so, yeah. CW asked if I had looked into a used engine. I have thought that route, but those engines are actually a little hard to get a hold of right now for the Series 60 that have any sort of decent stuff on them. So, yeah, it's not actually something I want to do with that truck, because what I want to do is actually take to Pittsburgh Power, have them do the out of frame and do some upgrades and updates and things like that, because it would probably be a 9 mile per gallon truck at that point. And for that truck engine year thing, yeah, probably even better than that, honestly. So
just so people know, I've been forcing Charlie to go through numbers and checking his math and everything here for what, 2 weeks now?
Yep.
We've been going over
Yeah.
this just about daily.
Right.
So this is where we talk about when things go wrong.
Right.
We've kind of avoided this topic because you just hope it never happens.
Right.
And we try to be as upbeat and positive as we can. But for lack of a better term, shit happens, guys. It just does. And so then it's like we had a bit of a discussion on Facebook the other day about the AB5 law in California, which we're going to have to get into, Charlie, in an episode here pretty soon.
Right.
At some point, as a business owner, you have to decide: do I want to stay in business? And if the answer is yes, you do what it takes to stay in business. In Charlie's case, it's getting another truck right now.
Yep.
You know, Charlie and I discussed this a lot. We do believe that we have good advice.
Yes.
But we also realize that actually doing some of these things, like saving $60,000 in 4 years,
right? It's hard sometimes.
It's hard, man. And so you got to decide, okay, I'm saving this much money. I need, in my case, it's going to be an M-frame in about 18 months. Well, what if I fall short of that?
Right.
That 35 that's going to cost me.
Right.
And the downtime and the this and the that. Well, I got choices that I'm going to have to make in about 18 months. You know, I think that I'll be okay,
right.
But what if the house burns down? You don't know.
Right. You know? Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's crazy. And like
we have a
always told him never say never.
Mm-hmm. We have a member of Contractors Corner. I can't remember her name, Charlie. So you might got hit by a bus. Her truck got hit by a bus.
God, who was that?
And it's been in the shop for months. How do you plan for that?
Right? I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous.
And so people kind of give her a little bit of raspberries online, and she's like, well, I got hit by a bus. And then they're like, oh. Nobody knows what to say to that. So you know, you plan for you plan as best as you can. But the question is always, do I want to stay in business? And if the answer to that is yes, and the time comes, you do what you got to do.
And to answer the big question out there right now, everybody's asking, it's a Freightliner. No, I'm not doing the Kenworth. I'm sorry. I've had Kenworths. I like them. They ride beautifully. But I am looking at numbers and things like that. And again, reliability and, you know, things like that. And I'm a freight shaker guy. I can't help it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, people that have asked me, the reason for Freightliner for me is the fact that the DD15 engine and the D12 transmission,
right,
and the rear ends of the truck were all designed by a single engineering team to work together.
Right.
So Charlie's going to the dark side with an automatic truck.
Oh, see, that's like a whole nother thing oh God, the last time I drove an automatic, I was putting cracks in buildings backing into docks, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah. But now I have to.
When you look at the entire drivetrain being designed specifically to do OTR with good fuel mileage, to me, it's a no-brainer. Right. Now, I had it. My first truck was a Kenworth. I should have bought that truck. That was a great truck.
Right.
And the Kenworths, man, they are nice. They're fun to drive. They're nice. You know, so the interior of mine, Charlie, was all that leather and everything.
Did it have the Detroit? Because there was a time when you could still get Detroits in KW
it had
before the split. Okay.
It had the Cummins. There's issues with Cummins that we could talk about if people really wanted to, but
right.
Bull gear.
Yeah, bull gear. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the reason why Charlie and I really, really are into the Freightliners. It's not that we don't understand that there's nicer trucks to ride in and feel good about yourself in, but you know, I'm sold on that Detroit drivetrain.
Right.
Yeah, I got 800,000 miles on my truck, and I've never had a problem with that transmission. And I have one buddy that actually went out of business because of the transmission on his Kenworth. So
Right.
So yeah, so even talking to Bruce did not change Charlie's mind, because we
Nope.
talked about that.
Yep.
Because when we talked to Bruce before the show, it was like, yeah, it's going to be 6 months,
Yeah, it was painful.
and it's this supply chain problem is what it
Right.
is.
Detroit
Supply
parts.
chain and labor. Yeah, if you guys remember that show, Bruce was saying that he really needs 10 mechanics, but he can only find 5.
Right.
So
I mean, mechanical work
there's an
is
issue
booked
there.
out to what did he say, August or something like that?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he told me that I could get my electrical stuff done within a couple of days, but if it turned to mechanical, it'd be August
Right.
before they could get to it.
what Kenneth said here, first time he docked with an automatic, people heard it 5 counties over. No doubt that was me.
Yeah.
The one that I was driving one time. It was brutal, man. And it was not, it was, 4 or 5 years ago. So, I mean, it was a completely different design, and that they weren't quite as good, and it was terrible. I could not figure it out. I was just slamming stuff. Like I was mad at people.
Yep.
James, no, I'm not doing the MRP. It's actually a brand new truck. It's a 23. They managed to snatch one out of the fleet, and it's getting marked tomorrow.
Yeah, Charlie's causing problems for the body shop guys right now.
Oh yeah, they had literally just rolled it out of the body shop.
They had all the Swift stuff on it, and now Michelle was like, "Nope, take all that off."
Yeah, no doubt. You know what? So, CW, I feel your pain. I have horrible back issues. Broke my back in 3 places, and part of my issues right now are I'm having some major neck disc vertebrae issues. It's probably going to lead to surgery very soon. So I get to plan for that in the interim of trying to make some money before I go into surgery, and probably off for a few weeks. And then I'll be riding. I'll be a seat cover for a few weeks, because let's face it, I'm not taking 6 weeks off. This is not happening. I can't do it. I'll run around in the right seat.
So I'm just going to put out there on this comment. So the reputation of the Freight Shaker on the new ones is completely false.
Right.
If it's shaking around like the old ones, you've got something wrong with your suspension.
Yeah, got to get it looked at, yo.
I mean, mine is starting to get to where I need to take it to an MD alignment shop, because it is getting bouncy, but for the first 5.5 years that I had the truck, it drove almost as smooth as a Volvo.
Right.
I've replaced the shocks on it once in that amount of time, and my guess is that at this mileage, what MD alignment's going to tell me is, let's get you aligned and get some new leaf springs in there.
Right.
So the newer trucks, all of them, they should ride similar. It's just, Freightliner had to do something because of that reputation.
I truly got lucky on this truck, guys. It literally had just come out of the shop. It was going to be a company truck, and so, I mean, they weren't supposed to be getting any 23s, and apparently they got a small batch, and they were company trucking them. And Michelle saw it, did her magic, and snatched it right back out of the system. So I don't even know how that went down, but I'm just digging it, because
best not to ask.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
So the interesting thing, Charlie, that I want from you is fuel mileage numbers on that truck.
Oh yeah, and I will have several weeks worth of numbers to put out during the break-in.
Because you had your 06 to up to what, about 8 almost?
Yeah, I was doing well at 8.
So we'll see what this one does.
PG Beats is getting a Freightliner, he said. So I look, man, you can't. I've had several KWs, like I said, and they were nice riding trucks. Don't get me wrong, but the reliability that I've seen in the Freightliners and things like that is just, it's my preference. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, really.
Yeah, the main thing I liked about the Kenworth was the creature comforts, right? Like it had real leather on upholstery up on the walls instead of that stupid scratchy whatever they
Right.
put on the
Right.
plastic and all that stuff. The dash had real wood on it, and chromed out dials and all that stuff. It was nice.
Right.
But
See,
the
Kenneth,
best I could get out of that truck, Charlie, was 7 miles per gallon.
right.
Driving it the way I drive. I drive.
Right. See, and Kenneth is talking stuff that I honestly don't even understand the words that you're typing because I don't know anything about this stuff. I've been driving an old truck, y'all. Like, seriously, I have some serious learning and reading to do because, new stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna have to get out there and test some stuff because I've said all along that I thought I could do 9-10 miles per gallon in a newer truck, and now I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and my foot. I mean, let's just face it, that's what's gonna happen.
So the nice thing too, as we were running numbers, Charlie, is that you've got a couple things going for you that other people might not.
Right.
One is the knowledge on how to drive a truck,
Right.
which honestly, that's a thing.
And look, we don't say that to be snarky. Don't get us wrong, guys. There's
just
a lot
that we like. I'm in the middle of that experiment that's costing me money. I'm hoping that slowing down this next month proves my point,
right?
And I start saving money again on fuel. But you also have a Rosie.
Yes.
So the most money in the industry, guys, is a team operation in a paid-for truck with a significant other.
Yep.
Because all that money is going to your family.
Right.
So where I can do about if I decide to lose my mind and do 70 for the week, I could get close to 4,000 miles. If Charlie and Rosie lost their mind and did 70 for the week, they're looking at 8,000 miles.
Right.
It's whatever I make, their earning potential is double what I make. Just simply because there's a Rosie.
Right.
So that's something to consider with Charlie's change in business plans as well. So he can make up for some of this just from that. And the working an extra day, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's really what the numbers told me is we simply have to work an extra day doing what we're currently doing. And when I go back OTR, honestly, it's not even going to be like a huge thing because we tend to do more miles OTR and it's just not even a factor at that point.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually okay. I'm going to have to dip into this. Kenneth said hill assist keeps you from rolling back when you take off. When you dock, the last couple of inches before the dock plate, the hill assist will take over and slam you. Turn it off. It helps. Well, thank you for that because Lord knows these Target stores are going to thank you for that because oh my gosh, I'm still looking forward to this. Not really. Oh my God.
I haven't had that happen.
No?
But I'm better than you, so.
Well, that's true. Kenneth, I'm slowing down to 65 for the month to see what the numbers look like with the new speed and my APU. Oh, see, you should see something.
Yeah, so Kenneth, with your APU, you've had that on for a month now, haven't you? Hasn't he had it for about a month?
I think going on 2 now, right?
Remember I'd really love to see numbers on that because I'm thinking I'll pull the trigger on that for my Christmas present to myself.
Right.
It'll take me that long to earn enough money to drop cash on it. So
yeah. Dennis telling me watch out for the sensors in the front of the truck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like a whole thing too. I got to learn how to drive again. Look, it's just different. It's just me.
You just got to keep it clean.
Right.
Just got to keep that plate clean.
Yeah.
Once you one of the things, Charlie, is that in these ones with the crash avoidance,
right,
you'll find yourself getting a little bit lazy, and it probably won't happen to you because you don't drive Canada like I do.
Right.
But ice builds up on that LiDAR dish.
Okay, I can see that.
It'll turn your cruise control off. And I got to tell you, when there's no ice on the road, but it's cold enough to where that dish gets covered up.
Right.
And I'm one of those guys that I just don't feel fear or something. I'll be bopping down the road with cruise control on.
Yeah, just doing your thing. Doing
my thing, and that happens, and I'm like, crap,
just I gotta drive the truck. Just keep driving.
Well, I'm just like, crap, now I gotta drive the truck.
Right.
And it could be bugs too. You might get bugs down there, so that could be a thing.
Turker Dan said, "Is the Eastern Regional Freight good? Is the Eastern Regional Freight a good account to go to? Thinking about switching from OTR to the Eastern Regional Freight." So I've heard some pretty good things. I've heard some guys are having a little bit of a slowdown issue, things like that. But at a higher mileage rate, I mean, it seems to be working pretty good for most people that I've heard on that account doing that thing.
Here's what you do, Charlie.
Could,
you get on that account, get the higher mileage rate, and do surge in Opelika.
Oh, I really like doing Target.
Yeah,
maybe I can work that. I don't know.
I'm thinking that fuel price.
Right? Oh, I know. Oh my God. I could slay it over there.
Yeah.
I may have to think about something like that.
Give yourself a little bump.
Now you're hurting my head.
Uh-oh.
See, possibilities, options, y'all. I mean, seriously. I honestly don't have a relationship with Opelika. I've never worked that account. And because of the region that I like to run, I really probably should, just so that I have that in my bag of tricks,
Tell them that Jeff sent you, and when they don't remember me because it's been a year, tell them the guy that got the eggs.
Right.
Because one of the dudes there has a bunch of chickens. He was giving me eggs.
Nice.
So I probably remember that.
That's awesome. James Bond asked me what color. You know what? I have no idea. I didn't ask. I don't even care. I asked Rosie, "You care what color?" She's like, "No." So there you go. That's look, color. I mean, if I can go out and pick from 6 different trucks, sure, I'll pick whatever color tickles my fancy. But look, I got a 23 when I was told I wasn't going to be able to get one.
Right.
So I'm just going to take it and run.
Well, you guys all know my story by now about my 2012 that I had to negotiate my way out of.
Right.
But the deal of that was whatever they had available. And it ended up being the truck I have now, which has been a great truck, but I didn't get to pick color, options, nothing.
Right.
I just needed a truck to work with, though. I needed to work and not have it in the shop every other week.
Yeah, no doubt. And at that point, yeah. And honestly, I just wanted a new truck because of what's going on at this point. It's just, it just is what it is.
This is a point that I try to make with people, Charlie, is that I get it. Some people want their purple truck.
Yeah, Rosie said if she gets to pick, it's pink. I'm not okay with that.
But let's be clear what a truck is. A truck is a tool that you use to go out and make money. I used to tell people if my job required me to drive a hot pink truck and wear a tutu, if the truck got 9 miles per gallon because of that, I would do that. I have no shame. I have no shame, Charlie.
I want to see Jeff in a tutu. I am just drawing a picture now. Look, Rosie's dying over this. She's like, "Yes, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Whatever it takes to make this happen, Jeff. You let me know what that dollar figure is.
Anybody that's a fan of the show Cops knows where I get that from, because where they pulled this dude over in a Datsun pickup.
Yes.
And they're like, "Get out of the truck, sir." He's like, I don't want to. For like 5 minutes. He finally gets out of the truck and he's wearing high heels, a tutu, and pink stockings.
Oh my God.
And the cops are like, "Yeah, I wouldn't want to get out either."
And of course he's on Cops. There you go. Oh my God.
Well, the crazy thing is, if he was that embarrassed, he did have to sign the release, right?
Right.
So maybe he was going to a gig and maybe he used his advertising.
Oh, Kenneth said he's working on the numbers now. My accountant says I should recoup my money back for the APU by the end of the year. So that's a huge ROI. That is a great ROI.
Yeah. And, Matt keeps telling me that there's this perpetual tax credit for having those. Right. And I haven't figured that out yet. He says it's like a couple grand a year. Maybe you should get with our accountants and find out about that.
We just gave Kenneth nightmares. You and a
Excellent.
Yes, we like it. Oh, you're welcome, sir. You are welcome. Dennis said pink with purple polka dots. Look, I'd drive it. I don't care. I wouldn't like it, but I'd drive it. I don't care as long as it's making money. What the hell?
Well, if it's pink, you can at least justify it and say you're supporting survivors of breast cancer.
Yes.
There used to be that one owner that had the ribbon on there and everything, and part of their profits went to that. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no doubt. What else is on here? The new Matt said something. The newer ones just turn the cruise on and off, and it'll let you cruise still. I don't know what you're
Oh,
saying.
that's right. So on the newer trucks, Charlie, you can turn that crash avoidance off. You can't do that in my truck. They didn't have
Oh.
that option. But the newer trucks, you can.
That's
So,
interesting.
I don't know how much you use cruise.
I live on cruise, like for real. Like
You live in a pretty flat area, right?
Yeah.
So, like my next load's going up to Montana, so that'll be the foot most of the way up.
Yeah,
and
good
then
luck.
cruise
Have
on the way
fun.
back down. So I should probably mention this, by the way, because another thing that we've seen in the groups, not just our group, but other groups is, so as you guys know, I live in Utah now. So even though my home terminal is still Troutdale, because I will not leave Troutdale until that my OOC there retires.
Right.
And then I will probably go to Sioux. But so West Valley City Freight, they sent me this load up to Montana. And those of you that know, Montana usually is kind of a dead zone, not the greatest place to go, even though it's pretty. So I just did the macro 10. I said, hey, do you guys have anything to back this up with?
Right.
And the planners from West Valley City called me and went over my options. And that was right before the show. I actually finished negotiating that deal like 2 minutes before he hit the air.
Which is funny because 2 minutes before that, he's like, yeah, I don't know if my PTA set for tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to work. And then the next thing, I walked away from the computer, came back. This man was on the cell phone, had us muted, so we couldn't hear nothing. He comes back, yeah, I've got a stack now all the way out till Monday. I'm like, whoosh, there's the whirlwind.
Yep, it went from not wanting to go back to work to 1,700 miles by Monday. Simply because I reached out. It's really tempting to just say, frickin', I'm not going up there.
Right. Hey, Trucker Todd. So someone was saying earlier to simply that there is a way to turn off hill assist when you're backing and that helps. Honestly, I don't know. Jeff's saying he doesn't have a problem with the surging and slamming docks, but he's been in that automatic for quite some time. So I don't know. I'm just going to be hurting stuff, I think.
I honestly don't know how the newest ones are set up, but on my 2016, there's a sweet spot on the pedal that if you hit it just right, it'll just kind of start creeping backwards.
Nice.
Almost like, when you throw your standard into reverse and you just let it go.
Feather the clutch, yeah.
Yeah, there's a spot on the pedal that does that on my truck.
Excuse me.
Now, to be fair, it took me a good 3 months of driving that truck to figure out where that was.
Right.
But once I figured it out, things were good.
Yeah. And so, I mean, look, with any new truck, you got to learn how to drive it and got to play with it, get out there and do some stuff. You know what I mean? And look, I'm that guy that goes out immediately in a new vehicle, whether it's new or just new to me. I literally go out and find what the limits are, and from the top end, the bottom end, where the sweet spots are, things like that. And if you put me in a car, man, you don't want me to test drive your car, because I'm going to test drive it like I stole it. Look, I bought a Jeep one time, and it was great. We were in North Carolina at the time, and I was buying a used Jeep, and the guy's like, go ahead and take it out for an hour or so and test drive it, see if you like it. I immediately took it to my buddy's house and drove it through a pond and got it stuck in the middle of the pond. It was great. And then I got pulled out by a tractor, and I'm like, no, I know this thing can make it through. I was just dumb. So I went through it again and made it all the way through that daggone pond. Water over the hood, the whole 9 yards. Didn't bother to hose it off, drove back to the dealership, said, yeah, I'll take it. He's like, what the hell did you do to the Jeep? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm buying it, man. It was the funniest thing to see this guy's face when I came back. I mean, this thing was just baked in mud at that point. Had water inside in the carpets because we were that deep. The seals weren't awesome on the doors. Maybe I didn't have a door closed. And some of it came over the window because what am I going to do? Have the windows up while I'm running through a pond? That sounds like crazy talk to me.
And I think one of the plugs from one of the sides.
Oh, yeah. One of the floor
wasn't
plugs.
Secure. Yeah.
That was great. It's just bubbling up through the bottom. That dealer, oh, my God. He was like, oh, man, what are you doing to me? I'm like, look, I'm buying it. Let's take it. Ken said something about you can You can also put it in reverse, put your foot on the brake for a couple of seconds, and the creep mode will turn off. Well, okay. I don't even understand creep. Well, the only thing I know about creep mode is CR England makes me nuts on our yard with creep mode as they run the entire length of our yard in creep mode. They will exit the yard and drive a block up the road in creep mode because they don't want to start their clock or whatever the hell it is they're doing. And they drive me. Y'all just don't. Oh.
Wow.
Maybe I'll be one of those guys. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to process this right now. I just my head just exploded. I'm going to a dark place right now in creep mode. And you know what? Get out of here, woman with your pink cup. We're done with you giggling at me like that. Good Lord. Jeff, help me here. Where are we going, man? Anyone got questions? You know what? There's something that hasn't happened yet, and I need to do this because it's just part of our normal house cleaning. Look. Seriously, guys, these likes and subscribes and hitting the little bell thing, we really need you to do it. Look, if you think that the show has been good thus far and you think that what we're doing is good for you and good for us and helping people out, do us a favor, hit that daggone like button. I hate begging for it every week, but it really does help us reach more people that maybe don't do Facebook. I just had a guy reach out to the YouTube channel. He's like, man, I'm one of Sue's drivers and I don't do Facebook, man. Is there any way we can get in contact? Because I'd really like to talk. So, I reached out through Sue because of those comments in the YouTube channel. And now he's a subscriber, gave us some thumbs and all that good stuff. I mean, the guy spent a couple hours apparently going back through some old shows and listening to the things we were saying, liked what he was saying or what we were saying and doing. And now we got him as a subscriber and I appreciate it. So hit that thumbs up, guys, please. It's going to help us reach more people. And if we can reach more people, we can do bigger and better things because we've got some plans, y'all. We have got some plans that hopefully we'll start talking a little bit more about here fairly soon. We've got some work that we're doing in the back end that's a little overwhelming, but we're working on it. We've got some stuff we want to get your opinions on and things like that. And yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. There was some more stuff in chat. I don't think I missed anything. I think he was just explaining use 2 foot, one on the brake, one on the throttle, help the clutch depending on how much throttle you give it. Wow, that would be a weird thing for me. I'm not a 2 foot driver, and that would just make my head explode. But I'll try anything, y'all. Keep throwing the suggestions at me. I'm gonna make notes of this stuff. And
so not a single person wants to give Charlie the business about eating his words.
Come on, I can
guys.
Take it, y'all. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
I was really hoping people would be like, okay, Charlie.
Like I was adamant, never, ever will I get a new truck. Oh my God, do I feel like a jackass right now? But you know what? Hey, and if you're not going to throw it at me, I appreciate it either way. I know I'm going to get a couple in the background here. They're going to be like, ha ha, you dope. We told you so. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for noticing. What do you want?
But I'm also going to point out this. That truck has how many miles on it, Charlie?
Next to nothing. It's still got plastic on the seats.
No, your old truck.
Oh, my old truck? Oh, we're right at 1.7 million miles. So
1.7 million miles. So would you say that you got your money's worth out of that truck?
Oh, and then some. That truck has generated and this is no exaggeration because I actually went through a couple years ago. That truck has generated millions in gross revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Millions. And over the years since it's been paid off, I would venture to say that we have probably made damn near $1 million on that truck. Probably just under in net revenue because I was doing some dumb things when I first started the first couple of years. Had I been doing what I've been doing for the last few years with that truck, I could absolutely say without any hesitation that it would have generated $1 million in net revenue.
Right. So even being in the position that Charlie's in, that truck has done better for him than a dude. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. A dude that releases a brand new truck every 4 years. Right. Charlie's made more money than you with that truck. Now, there were mistakes were made, as they say,
Oh, absolutely.
but that truck, business-wise, has generated more money than buying a new truck every 4 years.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So,
even with the cost of a new transmission that I came out of pocket for, in frame years back when I had that happen, 700,000 miles ago, things like that. And look, so here's the deal. I'm actually being proactive on this. There are a lot of things that have stacked up that I wasn't able to keep up on for various reasons. No excuses whatsoever. I mean, I had to make some choices, and they were what they were, and put me where I am today. So, but that truck is not worn out. That truck is not dead. Like, I can sell that. And this is actually something I need to think about right now is, am I going to keep the truck, park it for a while, save up some money? And, if I do this, it will be a full strip down to the frame and redo the entire truck, frame up. And then, I'm going to go in and put my wood floors and build my custom cabinets the way I want to do them. But then I think, from a realistic point of view, I may actually be better off selling the truck with the market being what it is, because I can pull 30 grand out of that truck. And I bought that truck 1.3 million miles ago for $42,000.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm just saying. So, there's a lot there. Okay. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. Sorry, I'm going to come back. Todd said something here. Yeah, I have the button to turn off hill assist. I just haven't tried it yet. Today was the first time backing into the dock where I really noticed the truck jerking and kicking. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, Todd. Like no joke, just because of my past experience. Like I felt like I could have dented and bent trailers when I was trying to figure it out, being in a man. Look, there she goes again.
It was not fun.
It was, oh my God. She was just laughing at me.
So you're the guy, Charlie, that causes that river pattern on the side of trailers?
Right. Yes. Like, that was me for a week or two. Like, I was trying, man. You should see me in a manual. Like, most of the times I back in the docks, like, I literally don't know I'm already on the dock because I am that soft at this point. And just that comfortable driving that truck with that, manual transmission, all that. I literally touch the dock and don't realize I've touched the dock. So I'm like, why aren't I moving? I let the clutch out a little further. Oh, I'm in the dock, dummy. And I'm like, oh, that was awesome. And there's no one there to see it but me because Rosie's usually sleeping.
But thanks for not waking up.
And Rosie's the only one that believes you because she's married to you.
Right? I know. It's crazy. But you know what? Look, there is something there. I don't wake her up in all the docks I hit every day. Just saying there's something there. I don't know.
Or I'm too tired. I don't know.
Man. Oh, Dennis,
I guess.
The words of Darth Vader. Come to the dark side, Charlie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am there. I am there. Hey, Sean, better late than never. Of course, buddy. We're glad you're here. You missed it. I'm getting a new truck. I'm just going to throw it out there. I said I'd never get a new truck. I'm getting a brand new truck. Let's just get it over with. Pull off the Band-Aid. Make it happen. Throw it at me. I ain't scared. You know what? I'll just turn the chat off. Not really. I wouldn't do that. That'd be funny, though.
So the next time we get a group of guys together, I'll be making fun of you for your truck payment instead of how ugly your truck is.
Right? I'm going to have a pretty truck, y'all. Can you believe it? I'm going to actually have a pretty truck for a little while. Give me a month because I ain't washing that thing. So I'm just saying, except to get my new artwork put on it because I have a truck I can put some stuff on. So I am getting Contractor's Corner graphics and my DDX Trans graphics done. I actually sent my logo out to Matt Wright's woman and love that girl. And she's going to clean up my graphic for my company logo for me. Hey, by the way, quick shout out. She is looking to do some graphics works for people, build logos, things like that. I don't know what she's going to charge it, but I'm sure it's going to be a reasonable rate because it's a side gig she's trying to put together. So that might be something to do.
Who is?
Matt's woman.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll try and get you guys some information there, and then you can swing through one of those shops. She'll be able to send you files, and they'll be able to print and create the graphics and put them on your truck and make you look cool and stuff if that's what you want to do.
Oh, so the other piece of numbers that Charlie and I had to go through, because he had a similar question that a lot of you guys do, because I don't know why, he should know better.
Whatever.
But whether or not to put his S corp in suspension because
Right.
he's got a truck payment again. And when we did the numbers, because again, he's got a Rosie, right?
Exactly.
So he's making twice what someone else would make. It still makes sense for them to have the S corp. They're still going to get the tax benefit of being able to do that profit draw instead and not pay the self-employment tax on it.
And
they're
like
still going to be above that threshold.
Right.
So,
It simply requires us to work an extra day versus what we've normally been doing. So that's the way the numbers broke down.
I sometimes I wonder if people understand what I'm trying to say with that S corp.
Right.
Because you got to do the numbers. You
Right.
have your LLC if you want. I don't care. If you think that's going to protect you, I don't. But that's another discussion.
Right.
But the S corp part, make sure you're running those numbers to make sure you're actually saving money by doing that.
Right.
Because the benefit of an S corp is different than what you're thinking you're getting with the LLC. It's a tax benefit. You can have an LLC and still be a sole proprietor.
Right.
And not deal with all that mess of paperwork and payroll, this and that. So that's something that just do your math before you decide to form that S corp. Because what a lot of people don't realize is when you get an LLC, you then have to declare, this is how I want to be taxed.
Right. And so when people talk about LLCs, I leap to an assumption that they're talking about getting an LLC, setting up an S corp. So, they say, well, should I get my LLC before I come to SWIP? Or, before I sign the lease and all that sort of thing. and I will blanket statement tell you, no, don't. It's not worth it. You're not going to see the benefits. But I always forget about that, you could have an LLC and not do the S corp designation and still be sole prop and all that kind of stuff. And basically all it becomes is a DBA, doing business as name. And so, what's it cost? $100? Whatever. If you want to do that, go ahead. Just don't think it's going to save you for anything. Because if you get in a wreck, I promise you, they can take your house. Chances are they're not coming after you. They're going to go after the deep pockets of SWIFT. And I'm not saying that like that's a thing, but it's a thing. They are going to go after the person with the deepest pockets, and that's just reality of it. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little unfocused right now. I took my 4:00 meds, and they are whooping my tail right now. So I apologize if I'm a little scattered right now. But yeah. So let's see. Don Carr had something here. That's a lot of words. Charley, the new Freightliner that you do not want. Anyway, the secret to backing a new Freightliner with your awesome automatic. This guy, look at, he's beating me up. He's doing it in the most brilliant way. Is do not use the bottom of the fuel pedal. Use the top with the top of your foot. Nope. I understand what you're saying, even though I didn't say that right.
That's how you find that sweet spot.
Right.
Because, if you use the bottom of the pedal, you're going to end up mashing it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, see, and okay, wait. I got to ask you guys a question. In the new Freightliners, what is the fuel pedal orientation? Because like in the KWs, they're actually mounted to the floor, right? And you press down. In my Freightliner, it's mounted up high, and in the older trucks, the fuel pedal actually is mounted high. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but the actual the throttle pedal bar that goes into the firewall goes up, whereas in the Freightliner, it goes down into the floor. And that was a thing when I got my 660. It threw me off, man, because I could not figure out how to finesse that pedal because it was anchored to the floor. Whereas mine is anchored above. Okay, cool. that makes me happy because I did not like that at all. It's a
It
funny
makes
thing.
it makes it a lot easier to sweep the floor.
Nice. Because look, I live in a sand
It
yard.
just kicks out of the way when you're
Nice.
under it.
Perfect. What do you say here? Timothy Ransom said, for me, if I go LLC, I would pay more taxes. Tennessee has no state income tax, but they have a business tax. Well, that's interesting. So Florida has a business tax as well. However, I don't meet the threshold for where they start actually charging the corporation business tax side of it. It's a pretty high threshold in Florida, which is why it's worked out so well for us. Don't forget, some states require an LLC to operate out of. That's a thing with some of these places. So, I mean, yeah, that's going to be a show that we're going to have to do really soon because some things are happening and they're going to start happening fast.
Realize, too, that we are not attorneys and we are not accountants.
Right.
We have to put that out there because, there's things that we know out of experience, but it's not. Don't take it to the bank. Do your own research. Go find an accountant, an attorney that can advise you.
Yeah, seriously.
Because I had no idea about that Tennessee thing. Off the top of my head, though, I'm thinking, doesn't that depend on whether you're an S corp or not? Because an LLC, as a sole proprietor, is no different than how you're operating now.
Right. I think Timothy's actually talking about the S corp.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. There may be a threshold, though, Timothy. So, I mean, seriously, find out. Like I said, with Florida, there's a gross or net income threshold that you have to meet, and it's really high in Florida. Like I don't hit it.
I know. Like for me in Utah, the only added expense is $20 a year for my annual report that I have to send to the state of Utah. Which is funny, Charlie, because I was looking at it the other day. Because I'm still figuring this S corp thing out. So they say you have to file a report that costs $20, but when you open up the form to pay it, that's all it is the $20. There's no report.
Oh, nice.
But it says, S corp report. I'm like, whatever. Okay, you just want $20. Okay.
So Florida, I just recently did it. No, I did it first of the year. I want to say it's like 120 years what it cost me for the Florida. When I was researching stuff, it had which states had what fees for that, and Florida's one of the higher ones. Yeah, it bums me out a little bit, but here's the thing: is the form you fill out is like nothing. I mean, there's a form. At least I get to read a form and be like, yeah, nothing's changed. Submit, go. Here's my money.
Oh, and I'm going to put it out there too that so last week we talked a little bit about you guys that own your trucks and doing your 2290.
Right.
So Charlie turned me on to a service that does that for like $13.
Express.
And although I could just do it myself, I agree with Charlie. It's worth that $13 because all I have to do is put my information in once.
Yep.
And then once a year you click, yep, everything's the same, and they take the money out and they pay it for you, and you get your tag thing, your piece of paper that says you paid it.
Here's a bummer. I just thought about this, Jeff. It's July. 2290 is due, and I believe 2290 you're paying for the year that just completed. Really?
I thought it was for the next year.
See, now I got to find out for sure because I honestly don't know, because I may get out of this because I haven't actually run the truck within the month of July, which is when the year starts for that.
$550.
Well, so I wouldn't actually have to pay the whole $550 if I take the truck out of service and don't run it on the roads for the month of July and then put it on the side. It would just be the month of July.
Oh, okay.
They prorate it down. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, worst case, I got to, but I can't remember if it's the coming year or the past year. I honestly think it's the past year. I'm going to have to dip into it deeper. That's going to be fun. Something else. You know what I mean? James said he's got a great tax guy in Texas. New York has a $13 fee every other year. That's from Matt Wright.
So that's like the one thing where New York is cheaper on something then, huh?
Right. And probably easier right there. That's the only thing they're easy on. I don't know. Timothy Ransom said his tax guy said he would pay more as an LLC. So again, I'm assuming that's an S corp LLC because the standard LLC really wouldn't do anything, but whatever. So there you go.
Or maybe it's a DBA charge.
Oh,
If you have a DBA at all, maybe I don't
Right.
know. I would have to look. I would have to talk to someone there.
Yeah, and every state is different with that stuff. It's odd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So we're coming up on time, I think, but they one of the things that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of months probably is the Supreme Court decision not to hear the case against AB5 in California for truck drivers. For those of you that didn't see the postings that we did in the various groups about this, so the Supreme Court decided not to hear the case at all,
Right.
and they did it without comment.
Right.
Which kicks it right back to the state of California with no guidance at all. So
Which
it looks
means
like
it stands.
Which looks like our business model is no longer legal in California.
Right.
So here's why it matters. If you guys remember, the PRO Act is basically AB5 but on a national scale. That was defeated in the Senate this last go around. But
Right.
my opinion is, and Charlie and I talked about this, is they were basically waiting for the Supreme Court challenge.
Right.
So now that that challenge is no longer a thing, we're thinking it's going to come back into play. So the reason we think that this is important enough to talk about over the next couple of weeks or months is, again, this question of, do you want to stay in business? Because if this stuff becomes national, we're going to have a whole bunch of decisions to make.
Right.
There will be a way to stay in business regardless. Don't think that it's just game over. You're going to have to go back as a company driver.
Yeah, I mean, that's an option for you if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But, Jeff and I are both actively working on what are our options, because this could become a thing. And we don't want to jump and react at the last minute.
Right. We want to plan now for the worst case. What if it is going to require me to go get my own equipment in a trailer?
Right.
I need to be prepared to do that if this happens.
Right.
Because, you know me, Charlie. If it came back to becoming a company driver again, I would seriously think about doing something else.
Oh, I'd be, hello, welcome to Walmart.
Because I just don't, I like the game too much. I don't want to be out of the game.
Right.
I might go start a retail store for something, my games or something like that, But yeah. So this is something that over the next little while, you guys really do need to start thinking about. Pay attention to any news you can find on how the AB5 case at the Supreme Court is going to affect things like the PRO Act. Is it going to come back in play? What does that mean for us?
Right.
We're pretty sure. We don't know for sure because they're keeping it close to their vest, but we're pretty sure Swift has a plan.
Yeah.
We just can't get them to tell us what it is right now. So
but make no mistake, we are asking, and we are trying to get information, and honestly, I mean, we're making plans just in case it doesn't happen, and they don't have something set up that's going to work all the way around. So we're building contingencies for whatever comes, so that we're not jumping out of our backsides at the last minute going, what do I do now?
Yep.
And having no choice but to go company and losing all the equity that you have in a truck or what have you. So we're working on it, guys. Don't think we're not. If you guys have any questions, throw them up. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, because I'm going to throw that up there right now. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. Hit the reminder so when we make these extra videos. This one comes out Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern time every week, but we do put up other videos. And if you don't have a little bell going, you won't know that it happened, because they're never going to notify you. And sometimes even that's not great. But try it. Set it up for notify for all, and hopefully you'll get that stuff when it comes through. But like I said, if you have questions, please throw them up, and so we can get to them.
We got some stuff up here on the AB5 issue. Yes, that is correct.
Absolutely.
We all need to start planning. Sean Holloway. Right now, AB5 only affects Cali residents, correct?
Yes.
That is technically correct. But I'm going to put out there that there are currently, 9 states?
10 total.
10 states total
that are
SWIFT will not let
actively
you
right.
contract out of.
because they are actively trying to start those types of laws or have.
Right. And, historically, the politics sucks. That's why we try to steer away from actual political discussions in our group.
Right.
But historically speaking, California has a lot of influence on the direction of the nation. When they,
So sad.
I'm going to put it this way because I prefer to stay in business. I think that having your own business is the best way to gain wealth. It just is, because
Right.
you have total control of what you're doing. So, when California gets away with something like this, other states are like, maybe we should look at that.
Right.
So it's I don't if you don't want it to put you out of business, it won't, I think.
Right.
But you're gonna have to be willing to maybe get outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. CW. Cough. Carb. Cough.
Yep.
Carb. God, that was a fiasco. And look at where we are now with that mess. All right, guys. Last call, please. If you guys got anything, babe, you got anything you want to throw at anybody? You got anything you want to say to people? Now's your time. You are the spotlight, babe.
Oh, stop!
What do you have for our dedicated viewers?
Nothing.
She's got
Don't
nothing.
forget to hit like, please.
Oh, thank you, my love. Now I'm not the only one promoting. Jeff, what do you got, brother? You got anything you want to throw at anyone?
Feel free to PM Charlie on Facebook and make fun of him for buying a new truck. I would really enjoy that.
I think I've had enough of you. Yep. That wasn't right. I forget he's got controls too. He can just throw himself back up if he wants to. But whatever. Yeah, no, you know what? Bring it. I don't mind. Throw it at me. At me. Told you meds. Oof. A little wonky right at the moment. I didn't eat this morning. I think I screwed up. Anyhow, whatever. This will be fun. I want to thank you guys for joining us once again for we're only an hour and 22 this week, so it's not like 2 hours and 20 minutes. We didn't have a ton of info to get out, but I think we put out some cool stuff and talked some numbers and did some explaining and gave you guys something to pick on me about because, that's always fun. If you guys need anything before next week's show, by all means, throw comments up on these videos, guys. I make it a point to try and read and at least give a thumbs up. Some of the comments don't actually need a reply, but I do reply to everything that I can, and I try to reply to every comment, honestly. Or hit us up in the Facebook group. Right now, there is a Contractors Corner Consulting group on Facebook. You can find us there in the Facebooks. There's a Contractors Corner Consulting group page, which is open to the public. To get in the private group. Good Lord, save me. You need to be a verifiable contractor at Swift Transportation. So we do verify by driver code and make sure that group stays that way so that we have a place that we can all talk. And like I said, we got some stuff coming up about that very soon. We're going to have to get into that. Yeah, sometime soon, Jeff. Anyhow.
When we have something to present. I think.
We are working on it. It is in the works. It's
just
not
have a little patience with us, guys, because we are trying to run our trucking businesses while we're doing all of this. So we aren't able to give it 24/7 attention. So.
We would love to. We would love to be able to, but I mean, let's face it, we still got trucking companies that we're running, and like you said, and we got to get out there and make some miles too. So hey, we do our best, guys. And if you like what we're doing, hit that thumbs up. Look at that. I got it in one more time. All right, guys. Thank you for being here, Jeff. Anything else besides pick on Charlie?
Nope.
All right. Pick on Charlie. Go ahead. That's fine. I'll take it. Guys, thank you once again. Dang it. That's Jeff.
Watch this. I'm going to do it the first time.
That's Rosie. You bastard. I love you, man. I love you to death. Like a fat kid loves cake. I'm just saying. Whatever. Let's get the hell out of here, you guys. We'll see you next time. I'm Charlie. That's Jeff. That's Rosie. This is Contractors Corner, and we will see you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, right here